Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about how do you solve a quadratic equation by factoring, so similar to the problems that you see up on the screen here. Just a reminder, this is the speedrun version where we go through it pretty quickly. If you want the normal version, I'll link that in the description below. For your Ricasso Recap, you should already know how to factor quadratics, things like factoring by grouping, perfect square trinomials, that should be familiar. You should also know how to solve equations. If you want refreshers on any of these topics, I'll link videos in the description below. Please go watch that before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So here, the new part is this equals 0. Okay, this part, we know how to factor. We've done that before. So for now, let's do what we're used to. Let's factor this problem. Ignore the equals 0 for now. So you should already know how to factor. Okay, so again, here's the work for factoring. You should already know how to do all that. Now, for this equals 0, okay, we're going to add it in after we're done factoring. So we put equals 0. And now what we do is we split this into two different problems. G plus 13 equals 0. And then the second parentheses, 2g plus 1 equals 0. Now we solve these equations separately, okay? They're two different problems. If you solve the one on the left, you get g equals negative 13. If you solve the one on the right, again, we should know how to solve equations. You get negative 1/2. And these are your two solutions. Okay, solutions, roots, zeros. We're solving quadratics by factoring. Okay, here are your answers. Now for this problem, you'll notice it does not say equals 0. In the last problem, it said equals 0, so we just factored. Here it says equals 54s. We need to get it to equal 0. So we need to move this 54s over. So we're gonna, minus 54s. When we do that, and let's put it in standard form, 9s squared minus 54s plus 45 now equals 0. And now we should be able to factor this normally. Notice that step 1 is done. Step 2, is there a greatest common factor? There is a greatest common factor. Okay, so watch out for those problems. And now we should know how to factor from here. So here is the factoring work. And now when you get to the very end, okay, you might be wondering, what do I do with this 9? The answer is nothing. Ignore it. Split into your two equations and solve. So you're going to get s equals 5, s equals positive 1, and these are your two solutions. All right, for this last problem, there are two terms. And is it in standard form? Check. Is there a greatest common factor? Yes, there is. We can factor out a y here. So now I'm left with 29y plus 31 equals 0. And now we're almost done because this, you can think of this y at the beginning as its own parentheses. So I can now split this into two different problems. Problem number 1, y equals 0. Problem number 2, 29y plus 31 equals 0. This one is already solved. Done. If you solve the second one, you get negative 31 over 29. And here are your two solutions. So if there are only two terms, sometimes it's a quick, just factor out the greatest common factor and get your two answers. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now that you've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, you could have moved this 3x over here, or you could have moved both of these numbers over here. You should get the same answer. I chose to move both over because I wanted a positive here. But either way, should have come up with x equals positive 4/7 and x equals positive 1. And for the second problem, hopefully we remembered to check, is this a perfect square trinomial? Because it is a perfect square trinomial. You could have done it a times c add to b, but it's faster to just do the perfect square trinomial. And now, when you have the same thing in both parentheses, you don't need to do it twice or anything like that. Your answer is just u equals 1/3 final answer. All right, that is it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.